But also in the second line, Hannah sings a line in the song where she says that she's laughing at her rivals. I love that. Now, while I do, and I'm going to be transparent, do from time to time enjoy a good laugh at the expense of my haters. Don't judge me, he ain't finished with me yet. What she's saying here is not so much the laughter of their pain and their suffering. No. She's talking about a world, and she's singing about a world in which where God trades their tears and their torment for equal social standing. What Hannah is experiencing is a reversal of the emotional impact that her rivals have placed on her. In other words, she's singing about a day that instead of feeling judged, she feels joy. She's not judged about what size she is and what her skin looks like and how her hair looks. And she's not judged by whether or not she has children or doesn't have children. She's not judged by whether or not she's a stay-at-home mom or she works in the workplace. She's singing about a day where she doesn't feel judged. She feels joy. You know, I really started to engage in this work more seriously a few years ago when there's an awful case of a Stanford swimmer who was found sexually assaulting a young lady. And in the trial, the judge stated that he didn't want to give him any real time because he was afraid how it was going to affect this young man's future. He ended up, because he was supposedly a superb swimmer, he ended up only getting 6 months for sexual assault, and he only served half of the 6 months. I struggle with that, and I also struggle with particular texts in the Old Testament that have shown men willing to give their daughters over for the sake of saving themselves. And I came to this conclusion, and I started to engage in this work more because I learned that we have a society that believes that covering the sins of our sons is worth more than protecting the souls of our daughters. And this is not okay, and this is not God. I don't have daughters, but I resolved several years ago to say, you know what, the way that I can make the world a better place for women like my mother and my wife and all of the women who are here that we love is by teaching our sons not just how to behave around women, but what to believe about women. That they are also made in God's image. They're not property for us to play around with their emotions. But they are, like Hannah prayed and how Hannah sung, that I don't feel the weight of the judgment. I feel free because when God does the work of reversing what's wrong, it liberates us from the wrong thinking that has been passed down to us through the years about what women's role is and how women are to play a role in society. God reverses the wrong. It's our job to sing along with the chorus of Hannah, so that when we come to days like Mother's Day, it's not a celebration, but also a contradiction. I don't think you just heard what I said. I'm going to say that again. That until we start doing right by our women, Mother's Day is a celebration that underneath the surface is a contradiction. We cannot celebrate and set aside a day to celebrate mothers and grandmothers and spiritual mothers and women while simultaneously putting glass ceilings over their head. So for fathers who have young boys, teach your sons not just how to behave around women. That's important, but teach them what to believe about women.